Hi, good morning, it's Deb here, and we're already on day 2 of week 3 of the massive May birthday bonanza. And I've got the incredible Judy Bullimore of the Confident Woman's Academy for Job Interview Success joining me this morning, where she's going to be sharing some hints and tips about CV writing, interview skills, all of that sort of thing. Because I don't know about you, but in the days where I was job hunting, I would very often just whack out the same CV to everybody who I was looking to apply for. And then, there are times I would turn up to interview not really having prepared. I'd think, oh, I'll just wing it. I know what I'm doing. Unsurprisingly, those were the jobs I didn't get. So I know the importance of getting, your CV right, honing your interview skills. Now, I'm just waiting for Judy to join me on camera. I know she's ready and waiting in the wings. There might be a couple of technical glitches. We had plenty last week. So, what's a couple of technical glitches between friends, hey? But in just a few moments, Judy will be joining us and we'll get the benefit of her advice and her expertise. Now, I know Judy has her own group, which is the Confident Woman's Academy for Job Interview Success, and she runs regular live trainings in that group. So if that's something that you're interested in, if that's the sort of help you need, I will be putting a link to Judy's group, as I have done for all of our experts. The link will go into the comments at the end of this live. Unfortunately, I can't see the comments as they're coming up on screen. So that's why I don't answer them until after. But Judy is just here. Bear with me a moment. I'm going to bring her on screen now, and we will benefit of Judy's expertise and advice. I can tell you from listening to some of her lives, watching some So, Judy, great to see you.
Hi, hello. Sorry, I've just had to switch to my phone off my laptop because I'm having technical problems. Bear with me.
Headphones in because I'm getting and it's going to make things doing that. Right, Judy, I've just introduced you. I've just told everybody about your fantastic group and the amazing training you do each week.
Yes.
So I'm going to hand over to you, because even with the headphones, I'm still getting a lot of feedback, so it's not great for the viewer. And if you can just tell us a bit about what you do, which people you help, and some of your best hints and tips for CV success and interview success.
Yeah. Well, obviously, applying for a job can be frustrating, to say the least. It's quite an unnatural thing, actually putting yourself out there and having to showcase absolutely everything that is fantastic and your expertise, and it's really easier said than done. This is something that I personally have experienced, and obviously I work with clients, and if they are struggling to get shortlisted, there's so many things that can be put in place. And then when you've got past all of the hoops that are set to even get to a shortlisting kind of interview stage, there's the interview to do. And, if you add the fact that you have to do presentations, the fact that you have to do tests, you have about 3 different rounds, there's so many more hoops to jump through. And then you've got to sell yourself and put your best foot forward. So what I do is I coach, support and empower women to get shortlisted and then get past that interview stage, because I've got a lot of tips, a lot of knowledge about the hidden things there's so many things that are hidden that I'm sure people are just expected to know. And through my experience, I've devised lots of easy kind of ways to kind of follow, step-by-step guides, and then job success.
Fantastic. So what would be one of the biggest hurdles that people have to overcome then, that you see time and time again?
Yeah, I think because there's obviously 2 stages to getting the job. There's getting shortlisted for the interview, and then there's the interview itself. Now, one of the biggest hurdles is the getting shortlisted, and that's to do with the application documents. There's obviously two main ways of applying for a job. It's upload a CV and a supporting statement on cover letter, or it'll be to complete an application form. And even when people have got the skills, they've got the experience, one of the biggest and common mistakes I find is that simply listing the skills and the experience for the job, which of course they ask you to do that, it's just not enough, because everybody is expected to have the skills and experience and demonstrate that they have it. But if you're a recruiter and you've got 40 plus applications to get through and sift down to maybe 6, 7 tops for interview, how do you choose between all the people that have very similar skills and experience? So even standing out from the competition by simply listing your skills and experience, that's a really common mistake. It needs to be so much more than that.
So would you suggest perhaps writing examples of how you can demonstrate that particular skill set?
It's all to do with the wording, it's all to do with the positioning. Okay. So even if we was to use a CV as an example, and the fact that a recruiter doesn't have long to sift through all the applications. Another common mistake that people make is to have the skills and experience on the page somewhere, but they're banking on the person reading it even getting to the bottom of the page, never mind about the second page, and don't get me started with any third pages. Everything that is needed has to be probably in the first half of the page. So that means you need to be an absolutely outstanding profile. All the skills need to be there, easy to see, and the most relevant experience somehow be strategically set out really early in the page. And yeah, if we was to talk about application forms, there is a technique with showing that you have the skills and the experience, but then also very cleverly getting in extra bits about your personality and the type of person you are, and achievements that you've had. It's all a very clever mix of what they need, which is the skills, the experience and the examples, but then the extra. And I talk a lot with my weekly lives about the extras that people need. And this is why I'm so passionate about people being real, being natural, being themselves, and having that self-awareness of what makes them so unique. Because it's actually your personality and your personal achievements, not just professional, but personally, that creates this you're a holistic whole. You don't just come with a bit of experience and a few skills for this job. You come with a wealth of personality and experience. So it's kind of bringing everything to the pot. And that's what
Fantastic.
How it works. Yeah.
Okay, so when you've got over the CV hurdles, you've got shortlisted.
Yes.
You've been invited for interview. What's the best sort of preparation you can do? Because as I said just before you came on camera, I've turned up to interviews in the past where I'm just going to wing it.
Yeah. You definitely need a game plan. And I've done a few lives actually recently about what to do before an interview, what to do after an interview. And I do actually talk about the fact that you can do a thing called over-preparing. So you can actually over-prepare. The most important thing to do on the day of the interview is to get in what I call a confident power zone, a confident interview power zone. And it's really just everybody's different. and I say this, you know, it might take somebody a whole week leading up to the interview to get into this power zone, or it might take somebody 5 minutes, it might take somebody all morning. It all boils down to how self-aware you are. But if you're not in it and you do either wing it or just you're kind of hoping for the best, you put it to the back of your mind and you haven't given yourself the time to enter this really important power zone, then you are actually planning to fail, because you're not taking control of the things that you do have control in. And the biggest thing that you can do is feel positive and feel full of, you know, pride in your accomplishments, and, you know, to totally override any very common interview nerves and any sabotaging thoughts. There's got to be, and this is why it takes some people longer than others to kind of enter this bit where all the negative stuff has been pushed back, and all you have is, I can do this. You know, you have a mantra that works for you. You might have listened to some really positive music. You might have had a little dance. You might have just had a really good meditation and thought about all the things that you're great at and blessed with, or whatever works. But it's really important that people do that, because if you're going to talk about yourself, if you don't talk positively, then, you know, the interviewer isn't going to get that connection that they need, that positive, memorable connection. If you're not really feeling yourself, then it will present itself either directly or indirectly. So directly, they can actually see that you're lacking in confidence or lacking in that connection, because it'll be blocked.
Okay.
And then indirectly is when you're not actually aware, but the words that you're choosing and the examples that you're choosing aren't as powerful as they could be, because obviously you reflect what is going on. And, you know, interviews are so unnatural to have, especially if they're panel interviews, when you've literally got like 3 or 4 people just lined in front of you, scribbling things down, asking you really unnatural questions. Name a time when you provided, you know, great leadership. What happened and what was the outcome? You know, bang. You're supposed to go, and you really do need to be in the right zone to deliver and deliver powerfully. So that's why that bit before an interview is so important.
Wow. I can recall a time, probably about 25 years ago, having some interview advice, and that was wear white trousers and accept a cup of coffee, because you're showing the interview panel that you're confident enough that you won't tip the coffee on your white trousers. I did it. I got the job.
I mean, yeah, okay, well, I'm glad that worked for you.
But that brings me on to another question, which is, you know, about dressing for interview, because there are so many dress codes now. You know, do you wear a suit? Do you wear a dress? Do you wear jeans and blazers? You know, what do you wear?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it is to do with the culture of the organisation. So obviously, when you apply for a job, you would do your research. You would know the environment that you're going into, and I say a lot about the importance of being aligned for a job, because there's different reasons why. Actually, it's one of the most personal things, what a job means for people. Some people can get away with not actually enjoying the job too much, but what's really important is the wage and the stability, or for some people they have to feel like they're pushing out of their comfort zone and progressing. You know, there's so many different reasons, but when it comes to actually getting the job that you want, the process is much more easier when you are what I call fully aligned to the role. So it actually, not only does it appeal to your skills and your experience, and you feel that you can give something to that job and that environment, but there's something behind it or underneath it, and that's more of a connection. You know, those jobs that just appeared out of nowhere and you just go, that's mine. I can imagine myself there, and you get excited, you get a feeling, positive feeling. They're the type of jobs that you're aligned to and that you should definitely go for, because there's something already there. And if you are fully aligned to it, then it's that connection, that bit behind it, that passion, that is going to put you, it's going to, what's the word? You're going to stand out amongst the competition because there's more meaning for you than everybody else. It's just a question of showcasing that. If the passion's behind it, it will come through. So then when it comes to choosing what you wear, that decision will be easier because you kind of know what is needed. You can imagine yourself there. There's a reason. You know the environment. You know what kind of place you're going to be working in. So there's going to be a clue there about what kind of thing or outfit you're going to wear, whether it's going to be a suit, whether it's something a bit more casual. But then I'm slightly different to a lot of employment specialists out there. And I'm only like this because I've always stayed very real to myself, and it's always worked for my clients. I think the more real you are, the more connection you will have, and the more you will stand out. And I am very opposed to a lot of the advice out there because all it is it's just completely geared towards the employer. Oh, the employer wants you to do this. The employer wants you to say that. They're looking for somebody like that. And actually, if you was aligned to the role and you was really, you had inner confidence and you had passion and you were proud of what you've achieved, then actually you don't need to be fake. You don't need to try and play any roles. The only thing that you need to be is real. And therefore that extends to what you wear. If you feel comfortable, I'll be honest, I feel much more confident in heels. Don't ask me why, I feel more confident in heels. Give me a pair of nice heels and I'll literally walk a little bit more confident. Or, you know, I'm quite I like sparkle, I'm a bit more, you know, I wouldn't want anything that has no colour. So I would always inject a little bit of colour or a little bit of, you know, today I've got my necklace on. I could possibly wear just the black polo. Do you know what I mean? But that's me. So the more you're in touch with or in tune with who you are, the easier it makes the decision of what to wear, how you want to come across, because you're presenting your personal brand, not the version that you think that the employer wants, because that's another really common mistake at interview. People kind of think, oh, I can't even talk how I normally talk, because that's not what the employer will want. You know, I literally have worked with clients who play down their accents or play down how they naturally talk because they think that that's going to get them the job. And actually, if you flip it and just said, just be yourself, that works so much better. And actually, it makes the interview so much more enjoyable. Because what's worse than kind of knowing you've got to perform, but then not everybody's good at acting. I mean, I always say, unless you're really good at acting, they will be able to tell. People can tell when people aren't being real. So actually having faith in your own abilities is going to serve you so much better. And that's why what I do is not just, you know, employment and advice and yeah, I do provide masterclasses and things on interview technique and, you know, CV workshops and things like that. But actually, I spend a lot of time on helping people be more self-aware and more proud of their personal achievements, personally and professionally, and just building that confidence, because it goes a really long way.
That's so refreshing to hear, that it is about bringing the whole person to interview, not just a sort of facsimile of what the employer wants. And I'm getting the sense that what you're saying is that you're interviewing the prospective employer as much as they're interviewing you.
Yeah, it's not just a bit. Remember, you know, what if this is a full-time job? You might be doing that job and not actually doing what you might really want to be doing, which is to be at home or be with your family. Or, you know, if you're going to put yourself in another environment nearly every day, let's make sure it's the right one for you. Mm-hmm. This is why I say, you know, it's very important, I feel, to be aligned to a job. There are different reasons why, you know, as I say, some people can be very happy being in a job that just pays the bills, and that's fine, because it's allowing that person to do what they really want to do, which might be something else. But it really is that feeling of moving forward is really strong. Like, you don't want to spend time in an environment that's not right for you. And that's why I say, yeah, if it's A to B, you want to get A to B, so you might need to make this bit of a diversion to get there. Hold that career goal firmly in mind, because, yeah, you might need a bit of experience here, or you might need to do a little bit of training there. But let's not spend all of our time for the foreseeable future in a job that is hindering your career goals. Because it could just be that there just needs to be a clearer plan of how you're going to get that, either the job or the career that you really want. So yeah, I just feel as though it's important to hold that close, that career goal, so that you don't spend all your time in a job that you're not happy in. And, you know, there is a way of getting the job that you want. It might feel far away, but then there are such practical things that can be put in place. First things first, self-belief. If you have the self-belief, you're nearly there. After that, it's just technical stuff of actually how to get shortlisted and how to perform to your best at interview. And it might mean that there's a few interviews that you might need to go on, but it's very much about what you want and not just about what the employer wants. Obviously, they want to feel like you really want, that you're deserving of their position. But if you're aligned to the job in the first place, then of course you will be. It's just a question of proving it and showing it.
Okay, Judy, this has been absolutely fantastic. You've given so much advice, so much information. For those people watching either live or who are watching the replay, you know, where can they get more information from you?
Well, obviously I have the my Facebook group that is all about interview success, so the Confident Woman's Academy for Job Interview Success. And then I've recently just set up one specifically for CV success, CV and job application form success. So that's called the CV Academy. So that's very new. I'm literally going to be posting all my lives and stuff from the end of this week. But the interview success group is established, and there's so many lives, all in the topics section on the things that I've covered today, broken down with a bit more information.
That's brilliant, Judy. I'm going to drop a link below this live once we've finished. I'm going to take you off video now to get all the feedback. Thank you so much for all of your advice today. It's been great having you on, and I'll catch up with you very soon.
See you.
Bye. Wow, wasn't that absolutely amazing? So many good hints, tips, and advice for interview. Group again is the Confident Woman's Academy for Job Interview Success, and I know, I'm a member of that group to support Judy. I've watched a number of her lives. She really knows her stuff, and she really does involve the whole of the person. So if that is applicable to you, please go over and join that group, because you won't be sorry that you've taken that advice from Judy. I'll be dropping the details below. But what a great morning. What a great way to start the week of Expert Lives. Tomorrow we have got Serena April Fordham joining us at the later time of 1 p.m. because she's running a workshop first thing in the morning. So we've moved her session to 1 o'clock, and she'll be talking to us about business strategy. And on Thursday, we've got Sally Oddy, who will be talking to us about business clarity, and she runs the Clarity community. So I will see you again tomorrow at the slightly later time of 1 o'clock, where we're talking business strategy, and I'll drop all the details to contact Judy below. Thank you for joining me live and on replay. Great to have you here. Bye.